Sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. Tiptoe if you must, but take the step. The most dangerous thing you can do is nothing, because comfort zones have a way of shrinking until they suffocate you. Strength doesn't come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you once thought you couldn't. The greatest battles you will ever fight are not with others, but with the limits you've set inside your own mind. Every storm eventually runs out of rain, but you have to be willing to walk through it to see the sun again. Your past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. Visit it for wisdom, not for chains. People rarely remember what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel when they needed someone most. When you learn to sit with the discomfort of growth, you discover that pain is not punishment, it's preparation. Fear doesn't vanish when you're brave. Bravery is simply the choice to keep moving despite the fear. Sometimes you don't need a plan. You just need courage, a deep breath, and the will to see what happens. It's not the mountain ahead that breaks you. It's the pebble in your shoe that you refuse to remove. Life is less about what happens to you and more about what you choose to do with what happens. If you can't find the light at the end of the tunnel, be the light that guides you out. Greatness is not in never falling, but in rising every single time you do. Every person you meet is fighting battles you cannot see. Move through life with more kindness than judgment. You will never be ready. You will only be willing. And that's where transformation begins. One day, the weight you carry will become the reason you are strong enough to lift others. Don't be afraid to start over. This time you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. When nothing is certain, everything is possible. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They are proof that you fought for something worth surviving. Change is frightening because it asks you to trade the known for the unknown. But the unknown is where your future lives. The right path is rarely the easiest. It's the one that shapes you into who you were meant to be. You are allowed to outgrow people, places, and versions of yourself that no longer fit. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create the moment and make it perfect in memory. Even the darkest night will end. And when it does, you'll realize the stars were teaching you how to shine. Success is not the loud applause of the crowd. It's the quiet knowing you stayed true to yourself. A mind that's stretched by new experiences never returns to its original size. You don't have to move mountains. Sometimes it's enough to move one small stone at a time. No one is coming to save you, and that's the most liberating truth you'll ever accept. Growth feels like loss because you're leaving behind the version of yourself that can no longer go where you're headed. If you want to know the value of a moment, remember that 1 second can change the entire course of your life. Stop asking if you're ready. Start asking if you're willing to be changed by the journey. The strongest souls are the ones who learned how to smile in private before they could smile in public. Life will test you, not to break you, but to help you discover the strength you've been hiding. The chains you wear the longest are the ones you convince yourself are made of gold. You can't heal in the same place that broke you. One day you'll look back and thank the moments that didn't go as planned because they led you somewhere better. It's okay to walk away from things that drain you, even if they once brought you joy. The moment you stop chasing approval is the moment you start living. The only real failure is never starting at all. Sometimes you have to lose everything to realize you already have what matters most. Courage doesn't roar. Sometimes it's the quiet whisper that says, "Try again tomorrow." Life is a series of letting go, of moments, people, and versions of yourself you've outgrown. Don't fear being alone. Fear forgetting who you are when you're surrounded by the wrong people. Sometimes rock bottom is the solid foundation you needed all along. You don't always need a happy ending, but you do need a meaningful story. Your comfort zone might be your biggest prison, with walls you built yourself. If the path is easy, you're probably walking someone else's journey. The best view comes after the hardest climb, but only if you keep climbing. Don't be afraid of being a beginner. Every master was once someone who decided to try. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf them. Every ending hides the seed of a beginning. You are one decision away from a completely different life. Let your past make you better, not bitter. You will never regret being kind, even when it isn't returned. The road will be lonely at times, but that's where you'll meet your truest self. Not every chapter will make sense until the whole book is written. Your energy introduces you before you even speak. Protect it fiercely. Sometimes the best revenge is simply moving on and being happy. You can either shrink to fit the place you've outgrown or step into the space waiting for you. The bridges you burn may light the way forward. You don't need permission to begin again. When life whispers no, it might be protecting you from what you can't yet see. You can't pour from an empty cup. Refill yourself first. A slow pace is still progress. Moving forward is what matters. Silence can be the loudest answer. Sometimes the best way to predict the future is to create it yourself. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. Every heartbreak teaches you the kind of love you truly deserve. The things you take for granted are often what someone else is praying for. A clear mind sees possibilities where a cluttered one only sees problems. If you never leave the shore, you'll never know how far you can sail. Some doors only open after you've walked away from others. Every person you lose is not a loss. Some are lessons wrapped in temporary love. You can't rewrite your beginning, but you can change the ending. Time heals, but only if you let go of what keeps reopening the wound. What you tolerate becomes what you teach others to expect from you. Even the longest winter gives way to spring. Don't let the noise of the world drown out the voice inside you. Happiness is not found, it is created. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to learn what's next. Rest is not laziness. It's how you rebuild your strength. The world will try to define you. Resist until you define yourself. No rain, no flowers. Growth requires both beauty and storms. Sometimes the leap of faith is the safest step you can take. Healing takes time, but time passes whether you heal or not. Choose healing. Don't dim your light just because it makes others uncomfortable. You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. A goal without action is just a wish. Not everyone will understand your journey, and they don't need to. Fear is a liar, but it speaks convincingly. Learn to question its voice. Every scar tells a story, but not every story needs to be told. You can't change the past, but you can change how it changes you. The moment you stop chasing what's not meant for you is the moment everything meant for you finds its way home. Sometimes, life doesn't take things away to hurt you. It clears the space for what you've been too afraid to reach for. You were not born to simply survive the storms. You were born to dance in the rain they bring. Every ending you feared hides a door you were meant to walk through. Your future is waiting on the other side of the decision you're too scared to make. The people you lose along the way are not always your loss. Sometimes they're your release. The strongest version of you is the one you haven't met yet, standing just beyond your comfort zone. The next chapter of your life will demand a stronger, braver you, and that's exactly who you're becoming. The pain you carry is not meant to be your identity. It's meant to be your teacher. If the mountain in front of you seems too tall, remember, you're not here to measure it. You're here to climb it. The scars you hide are proof that you've survived battles you once thought would break you. Sometimes you don't need a map. You just need the courage to take the first step into the unknown. Life doesn't hand you what you deserve. It hands you what you're brave enough to claim. The person you're becoming will cost you the person you used to be, and that's the price of growth. Your future self is already thanking you for the hard choices you're making today. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment, you'll miss the moments that could have made life perfect. The silence after a storm is where you find the truth about who you really are. You are not behind. You are exactly where the lessons you need can find you. When everything falls apart, you have two choices: break with it or rebuild stronger. The road ahead may be uncertain, but so was every road that brought you here. You will never know how far you can go until you take a step further than you've ever dared. Sometimes the most powerful decision you can make is to walk away quietly. What you think is an ending is often the universe clearing the stage for your next act. Every heartbreak you've endured was not the end of love, but the beginning of learning how to love deeper. The person you miss may not be the person you need to find again. Sometimes the best way to protect your peace is to be willing to lose anything that disturbs it. Life has a way of replacing what you lost with something you didn't know you needed. Every time you think you can't go on, remember the days you thought the same, yet you're still here. The version of you that's coming will terrify the version of you that's leaving. Some storms don't come to destroy your life. They come to wash away the things holding you back. Every no you hear is just a yes to something better. The dream you're chasing is also chasing you, but it can only catch you if you keep moving. The most beautiful sunsets are the ones that follow the darkest storms. The door you've been staring at isn't locked. You're just afraid to turn the handle. Your destiny is written in the moments you thought didn't matter. Sometimes you win by letting go of the fight that's draining you. The moment you stop trying to be understood is the moment you truly understand yourself. Every scar you carry is a page in the book of your strength. You will never regret the battles you fought for your own soul. Life doesn't get easier. You just get stronger and wiser. What feels like falling apart is often life rearranging itself for your growth. The hardest roads often lead to the most breathtaking destinations. Sometimes the only way to heal is to accept that you may never get the answers you wanted. You can't outrun your truth. You can only face it and let it set you free. The most dangerous thing you can do is convince yourself you still have time. The moment you decide you're worthy, everything you've been chasing starts running toward you. Sometimes the thing you're searching for is hiding in the life you already have. You are the author of a story no one else can write. Letting go doesn't mean you lost. It means you made space for better. Your growth will offend people who only knew the version of you that stayed small. The future is not promised, but this moment is. Use it well. If it's heavy, maybe it's not yours to carry anymore. The life you dream of begins where your fear ends. The moment you choose yourself, the world starts to follow your lead. Every storm you've endured has been preparing you for the peace that's coming. You will never be ready for everything, but you can be willing for anything. Sometimes the miracle is not that you finished, but that you even began. Your story is not over. You're just in the chapter that hurts the most. The people who left were part of your journey, not your destination. Change feels like loss before it feels like freedom. You are not meant to fit into the life you've outgrown. When you stop fighting for what's not yours, you have the strength to fight for what is. The moment you believe you can, the universe starts arranging proof. Your peace is worth more than any approval you're chasing. The pain will fade, but the lessons will stay to guide you. The more you trust the process, the less you fear the outcome. The person you're becoming is worth the discomfort of the change. What you think is the end is usually the bend in the road. You were never meant to live a life that made you feel small. When you close one door, don't stare at it so long you miss the one that opens. Sometimes strength is in the choice to rest, not to push harder. You can't control the waves, but you can learn how to sail through them. Every risk you don't take is a life you'll never know. You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress. The fear of failure has stolen more dreams than failure ever could. If you keep waiting for permission, you'll never start living. The only competition that matters is with the person you were yesterday. Your worth is not measured by how much you can endure, but by how much you can love yourself through it. The day you stop doubting yourself is the day you start winning. The peace you crave will cost you the chaos you've grown used to. The most powerful move you can make is to believe in yourself when no one else does. Your dreams don't work unless you do, but when you do, they become unstoppable. Everything you desire is on the other side of the work you're avoiding. You will be too much for some people. Those aren't your people. The life you want is waiting for the version of you who refuses to give up.